We're going to pick up Brian to play some baseball. Hello? Brian! Hey, I'm pulling into your place.
This is a picture of healthy youth development. Mike Martin has become an important part of 10-year-old Brian's life. They've been getting together regularly for about 3 years after Brian lost his father to cancer. Hattie B. Stokes Elementary, the school Brian attends, was the trial site for SCORE, a new mentoring initiative started by the mayor, along with corporate, civic, and community leaders in Lebanon. Mike, a director at Lebanon Utilities and a member of the planning effort, was one of the program's first mentors.
Well, I said, I guess I could do that. I've never done mentoring. I don't know anything about it, but I'm willing if we need help. I didn't know what I was doing, and I anticipated I'd be matched up with this youngster, and I'd sit there, and he'd look at me, I'd look at him for about an hour, and we'd just be doing this. But he's such a talkative youngster, we immediately started to, and once I get going, I'm talkative, not till you get me going, though. And we're just talking and talking and talking. And
the SCORE Mentoring Initiative is just one example of how the Indiana Youth Institute promotes healthy youth development and aims to help more organizations and communities across the state hit home runs in their work with children.
Ah, boy! Woo! Screaming louder!
The Indiana Youth Institute started with a need for better information about young women, specifically a letter from Campfire Girls to Lilly Endowment more than 25 years ago. It was written on pink, frilly stationery. The Campfire Girls explained they were losing members and wanted to hire a full-time staff member to find out more about the needs of young girls. Susan Wisely, then at Lilly Endowment, recalls the letter and her discovery that there was very little research, even nationally, on girls.
Well, we were surprised to hear that in 1974 there hadn't been a national study of young women in the country, but so we looked into it and we found out that that indeed was the case.
The endowment made a series of grants to a leading researcher in Minnesota, Gisela Konopka, to support her work with issues related to the growth and development of young women. Jim Morris has worked tirelessly to address the needs of children here at home, as well as across the nation and abroad. Morris was president of Lilly Endowment at the founding of the Indiana Youth Institute back in 1988.
Obviously, the well-being and success and the development of children is the most important activity and investment any community, any state, any country can make in its future. The Lilly Endowment has had a historic, powerful commitment to children and their well-being all around the world for that matter, but especially here at home.
The endowment mobilized a statewide network of influential leaders called the Lilly Fellows. Their focus was on youth services and identifying gaps in information and resources.
We had determined that it was important to have a more permanent statewide institution that could continue to provide this kind of help statewide.
The Lilly Fellows created that statewide institution, the Indiana Youth Institute, more widely known as IYI.
If there wasn't an IYI, there would be people who would be out there doing their very best to try to serve young people, but they might not have what's the latest research that is available to help them better understand why and how young people are functioning.
Willis Bright is a former director of youth programs at Lilly Endowment and has worked with community-based youth programs for 25 years. He sees value in bringing together all those who work with youth, whether in schools, churches, or community programs.
To have them all come together to better understand, look, you're all on the same team. You're serving many of the same young people. How can you better coordinate and collaborate so that they can be served more effectively?
A key turning point in IYI's history was the launch of outreach efforts in 1998. Lilly Endowment, still the major funder and supporter of the organization, stressed a renewed effort to keep in touch with youth workers across Indiana. Jerry Finn, on the board for 18 of IYI's 25 years, was IYI's board president at the time.
Lilly challenged us in so many ways, not only to diversify our funding, but to really do what we needed to do so that we would be a statewide organization, that whether you were in Evansville or Richmond or Terre Haute or, you know, all across, that you would know about the organization, what it had to offer, and it would be making a difference in the lives of children.
The Endowment's challenge led to the deployment of field reps who regularly check the pulse of youth organizations within 8 geographic areas.
It's a different vibe. Just working with youth workers that are doing such great work, it's just such a great feeling that we're able to provide services for them.
IYI's programs and services fall into 3 broad categories: information services, training and capacity building, and community outreach. One of those services is the Youth Worker Cafe. Topics result from discussions between field reps and youth workers about local needs and issues. Cafes bring together those in the field to learn and network.
It's easy to go online and research, but to have that face-to-face connection with a lot of these folks once a month is awesome, and to hear about a lot of those ideas up front and gain best practices is amazing.
IYI has always offered data on youth development issues through data services and the Virginia Beale Ball Library. Once requested, materials are delivered free of charge.
When they talk about their library that they have that's available, that is sometimes so key when we're writing grants, when we're actually taking time to have to talk to funders about the value of what we do. We can always articulate our value as it pertains to how we see it, but it's always good to have some current research to be able to back up just back up what you say you want to do.
IYI's regional training brings youth development experts every spring to 6 Indiana cities. And while IYI will always focus on serving youth workers, the Institute's path has taken new turns in 25 years. In 1993, a survey found families faced an information gap, specifically about education beyond high school and how to pay for it. The study, High Hopes, Long Odds, led to the creation of IYI's College and Career Counseling Initiative, funded by Lilly Endowment, and initially centered around the Trip to College and Drive of Your Life websites. Drive of Your Life is an interactive website for middle schoolers to learn about different careers, with customized feedback generated by a student's answers to a series of questions.
And the other advantage, especially for us living in a rural area, they aren't exposed to a whole lot of different careers. So through this, they get to see a lot of things that they didn't even know existed.
You get to choose what kind of car you want to drive and the color and accessories and stuff that you might want to put on it, which is really cool. And then you can look at all sorts of jobs that you think you might want.
The companion Trip to College website and the new Trip to College Alerts texting service helped families plan for education after high school. Providing content to media also became a focus for IYI.
Hello again, everybody. Bill Stanczykiewicz with you from the Indiana Youth Institute.
One example is IYI's weekly Kids Count radio show that, thanks to support from One America, airs on 13 stations across Indiana and builds public awareness of youth issues.
IYI is just an incredible resource to the state of Indiana. We think their media services and their radio show on Sunday mornings is an effective way to communicate the vision and the mission of IYI. And thought it would be a great way to partner with a very effective organization.
As a trusted voice, IYI has been honored by Democratic and Republican governors as it provides data to lawmakers on both sides of the aisle and sits on various state government committees. It shows that IYI is top of mind with state leaders. And yet, as IYI's influence has grown, its everyday focus remains the same: to serve the youth workers, institutions, and communities that impact youth. How the Indiana Youth Institute carries out its daily mission can be seen in 2 stories. The first involves working with a single organization.
They're boots on the ground. They do programming, organizational effectiveness programs where they actually have their consultants in the organizations seeing the day-to-day operations and actual programming and become part of it and try and improve the operations of the nonprofits like MOMS.
MOMS stands for Motivate Our Minds. It's an after-school and summer enrichment center for kids in grade schools throughout Delaware County. Monique Armstrong, the organization's executive director, credits IYI with helping at a critical time.
I wrote an organizational effectiveness grant proposal out of frustration, out of fear, and out of just being burned out. I was a little discouraged in that moment. I knew where to go for a little help that turned into a lot of impact. That year of work with our consultant not only encouraged me to continue in my position, but it also helped our volunteer leadership, being the board of directors. It's helped the team as a whole here at Motivate Our Minds, and we're better today than we were a year ago. As professionals, we need lifelines, but most importantly, it's the children that need us to be healthy and vibrant professionals so that we can serve them in the same way that IYI is serving us.
And IYI has been serving Motivate Our Minds since its early days.
When we went to those conferences, we were motivated. And then after that, we started utilizing their library. And you could just get all these wonderful resource books, and then you could bring them and you could send them back free. Well, that was just great because we didn't have money.
And because of IYI's services and support from local funders such as the Ball Brothers Foundation, programs like Moms give kids the hope of leading productive, meaningful lives.
One of the great things, I think, has been to hire one of the original students. And she is the director, and of course she understands what we were trying to do. She wasn't a student who needed a lot of academic help, but she needed a lot of help with self-esteem. And that was one of the components that we really worked with.
I needed an environment outside of my parents, and Motivate Our Minds provided that for me. And that's what we try to provide for all the students, is an opportunity to succeed today so that you can be successful for a lifetime.
While Moms' use of IYI services resembles a shopping list, communities often need targeted help, supplied by an IYI consultant to launch youth-focused initiatives and programs.
Because IYI wanted to be able to really come alongside communities and nonprofits to say, if you want to have more capacity, if you want to have greater impact, we can assign someone to you to work with you.
I can't say enough about IYI. They have like I said, they've been our rock. They have been fantastic. I'd recommend to anybody that any community that's trying to go down this road, you get with IYI.
With IYI's Indiana Mentoring Partnership facilitating the discussion, government, education, and community leaders in Lebanon developed the SCORE mentoring program to work with kids in school. SCORE is managed by the local Boys and Girls Club.
Having the SCORE program here at the Boys and Girls Club just makes sense. It's what we do. We build character, we help children achieve their potential, and that's what mentoring does as well.
The program is largely funded through a dinner hosted by the mayor. Hattie B. Stokes Elementary was the trial site for the mentoring program when it started 3 years ago. Community support is helping it expand to include other schools in Boone County.
Currently, we have about 30 students that have mentors, but we probably have over 100 kids that would definitely benefit from having that mentor experience. That's what we're all about at the end of the day. We all need to be working together because there are citizens of tomorrow.
Tomorrow's citizens like Haley.
I love my mentor. She listens to what I have to say. I had a lot of problems last year with my schooling, and she helped me through that.
I was really worried about who they were and how they were going to influence my child. But once I met Enza, we hit it off. It was so wonderful. It's just like having backup.
The support of countless community players gave the SCORE mentoring program the boost it needed to give more young lives flight.
There is a model and there's a formula that you can tease apart and say these elements will help it be successful. These things are barriers to watch out for. But really, I think when you get right down to it, it's the leadership and how genuine the investment is of the people at the table. And it doesn't get more genuine than the people here.
The successes are genuine, too, such as the pair of Mike and his mentee, Brian.
What I like best about the SCORE program is probably that it gives him a male role model.
They've shared good times over common interests, like baseball, but they keep important goals in mind.
I hope to see them right through high school graduation, first of all, and then I hope that if he wants to go on to college, I want to help him do that. Brother, good workout. I tell you what, you're going to be a ball player, but you did a good job there. I'm proud of you.
Serving those who impact youth. The Indiana Youth Institute has carried out that mission for 25 years and remains committed to promoting healthy youth development for years to come.
The Indiana Youth Institute
promotes the healthy development
of Indiana children and youth.
by serving the people,
The people.
institutions,
and communities.
that impact their well-being.
We serve all the counties in the whole state.